Hello, my darlings, and welcome back to Break Free from the BS, the podcast that promises to leave you either challenged, changed, or at the very least entertained. And today I want to talk all about rebellion. The act of rebellion. And specifically, I want to talk about how understanding the conditioning that you've had, the system that you're in, is a really helpful tool to then act from a place of rebellion against that unchosen conditioning. Whew. Let me just gather my thoughts on this. Let me gather my thoughts. I did a post on my social media a couple of days ago, and it was on this kind of reframing of how we tackle. This video is specifically talking on sort of physical self-esteem. How do we just exist in our body peacefully without constantly hating it, disliking it, wanting it to change, punishing it? How do we get to that place? And speaking from experience, I have spent most of my life trying to shrink myself, but for the complete wrong reasons. Shrink myself because I thought it made me lovable. I thought it made me attractive, desirable, wanted to fit in because I was wrong. You know, it was basically motivated by complete self-hatred. And I was effectively being told you're not healthy unless you are thin, which I now realize is a load of shit. There's a ton of different measures to health. And that isn't just that was one of the conditionings that I'd received around weight, right? But the video that I released, I basically spoke on the fact that until you understand why it is that you are being conditioned to hate, in a lot of circumstances, a very normal body. So there'll be people that are not even deemed to be overweight by the other system that's been created. Like there'll be plenty of people that are of a perfectly healthy, happy body, but will still be hating their body and thinking they need to change it. There's going to be a ton of you listening right now. And that's because it's no mistake that you don't like your body or that you hate your body or that you feel your body needs to change. And this is what I spoke about in this video, in that capitalism and selling things directly relies on the buyer feeling some sort of desire for that thing or a shortcoming in the area that that thing will then help them fix. That has to exist in order to buy that product, right? For the most part. Emotion is what sells things. So the more emotional you feel about that thing, the more distressed you're feeling about not having that thing or wanting to obtain that thing, the more likely you are to just hit the buy button. So when we know that factually, that is the system that we're in, we also know that that is a hungry, hungry system. Year on year, they want more. If you work for any retail company, pretty much, I'm not going to say there's not going to be a handful of exceptions that do it a fairly good, sustainable way. I truly believe that exists, but I would say 99.9%. They want more every year. More, 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 more. So the ethics of just reaching the people that genuinely need that product go out the window because you're a CEO of a business that is being hounded by your shareholders to get more, more, more each year. You come up with all kinds of amazing ways to make that happen. Like every single company that you interact with pretty much is operating on that basis. So when we know that to be factually true, because we can easily go and find that out to be factually true, we really must ask ourselves the questions of why do we hate ourselves? Why do we dislike X about ourselves? Why do we feel like we need to be better in X? Why do we feel like we can't trust our own intuition when it comes to moving our body, the amount of calories we're putting into our body, all of that? We have to be told, and then we buy a device that measures it. We buy an app that measures it. There's so many different capillaries in which you are paying money to effectively either understand a problem that you don't have, fix a problem that you don't have, or cover up a problem that you don't have. And that's the truth of it. So the reason I'm so passionate about the education and understanding of the system that you are in is a paramount tool to helping you step out of that cage that you have got inside of your brain. And I think there's almost like a couple of ways in which you respond to when you truly start to understand this and find this out. And it's like one way is effectively getting really angry at that system. And I'm not gonna say that's a bad thing. I think rage, when you actually finally wake up to the reality of your world, is a very natural response. And I'm not gonna say that's a bad thing. Just be careful where you're channeling that. Are you channeling it in the right location? And also, anger at the system is a bit of an enabler, but if you sit in that for too long, then they've won anyway because you've just become angry. So feel the rage, let it pass through, exercise it in the right way, scream into a pillow, shout fuck you at the sky if you need to, and then go, right, now I'm aware, so now it's my responsibility. Allow whatever initial emotion comes up, and then boom, it's now my responsibility. I'm now aware of this. And I used to think that that meant I had to abstain basically from anythings. Part of the reason I moved into my van was because I was like, right, I'm absolving myself from this system. I'm going to basically use as little as humanly possible. I'm going into a van, selling my things, bah. And it served me so much. And I met myself and I found out what was truly important to me. Like that 18 months, I truly view as the cocoon phase of my life. It taught me so much. And mostly it gave me the breathing space out of that material side of things to truly understand who I was and understand the system fully, or as fully as I can right now. I think you learn all the time. And then when I came out of that, what I realized is it's not a sin to want nice things, material items. I actually love having a beautiful home that there are items in it that really bring me a lot of joy visually. They make me feel creative. They make me feel safe. They remind me of beautiful places and memories that I've had with people I love. Like, there is nothing wrong with material possessions. And it's so mad because you almost come like 360 with it and realize that. The difference is when I buy an item now, I'm buying an item because I love it. It will enhance my life. It's what I want, which is mostly just beautiful, joyous things. It is not, I am buying this thing to make myself feel better. I am buying this thing to fix this issue I've been told I've had. I'm buying this thing to be more attractive. Like, it's for me. It's for me. And when you sort of come out of subconscious consumerism into more conscious consumerism, it feels like a completely different activity then. I think what I'm trying to do is just wake you up to the fact that you are in a system, and that doesn't mean that your life is going to be hell. Basically, don't panic. I think that's what I'm trying to say, because for a long time, I really started to panic. This fear started to creep in at the system that I was in, but I needed to be aware of it. I needed to be awake to it. So feel the fear, feel the rage, and then, as I say, don't sit in those places. Then move forward into activation. And for me, that looks like buying the shit that I want to buy with my hard-earned money to enhance my one human existence life in this body at this time with these people around me. Like, I get to spend my money that I've earned enjoying that. It is not a sin to want to do that, to have nice things, to go into nice places. Okay? It's not a sin. So I want to do that. And that's coming from a place of pure experience and love and joy now. I'm not just blindly being told what I should like and dislike about myself, what I should buy to fit in, what everybody else is doing. Fuck that. Fuck that. I don't care. Do I want to do it? Will it enhance my life? Will it give me an experience? So there's that. There's also this deep acceptance that I never chose to hate myself. It was taught to me to hate myself. And it was taught to you to hate yourself. You are enough. Just like a bird, a bee, a dog, a cat, a plant, a tree, a chair. It just is. When you are born, you are just a human being coming into the world. Everything else is made up, mate. We're all just making it up. And in the timeline that we live right now, these happen to be our made up rules. And if you fast forward 100 or you fast back, if you reversed 100, you would find a completely different bunch of rules. If you get on a plane and fly maybe even just 2 hours away and land, completely different set of rules. Completely different set of rules. Completely different set of standards of beauty, attractiveness, of societal rules, of parenting rules, like completely different. It is all made up. And the only thing that keeps the cage intact is our subscription to it, our acceptance of it. There may be some physical reality that goes alongside that right now that makes it difficult to go, well, okay, I'm aware of it, but I can't just step out of it. I understand. But without step one of understanding that system and accepting it as it is right now, feeling the feelings, without that part, you have no hope of changing your reality, your physical reality. And the physical reality is like the embodiment of the new thoughts that you've learned. So I'm going to stay on the example that I shared on social media, because I feel like a lot of you will be able to relate to this, which is how you view your body, right? Your body, your face, everything about it. You have been taught what is attractive and what isn't. And you have then been sold a bunch of products to solve the things that they deem to not be attractive. It is made up. What makes a person beautiful, once you have healed, is their heart. It is how they show up in the world. It is how they treat you. It's how you feel around them. It's their energy. It's the light in their eyes. It's their kindness. It's their talents. It's their passion. That is what makes people attractive. And that shows on their face. That's the point. Love, you could take aesthetically the most attractive person, but if you fill them with self-hatred and therefore outward hatred and insecurity and pain, you will see an unattractive person. Even if you go on looks, first of all, when you get close to them, you'll be like, oh, this person doesn't feel good to be around. And it all starts with the self. That's not to say there are like ugly emotions, because all emotions are just emotions. But if you are someone that sits in rage all the time, or you sit in anger or fear or hatred, all emotions are acceptable, but there are vibrations to those feelings. And if you sit in them for too long, that's where you start to vibrate at. So you will attract people to you, but they will be of a similar vibration. And it makes so much sense that when I lived in a time where I thought my looks were the number one thing that I was measured on, then guess what? I viewed myself as not high up on that scale. So then what did I keep attracting? People that may have been beautiful to look at, but they treated me like shit. because I thought I was a piece of shit, because I'd been taught that I was a piece of shit. So you have to be able to question why it is that you feel that way about yourself. And then you have to be able to slowly update that script and it come from a place of rebellion. I am not going to accept what I have been told because I know I have only been told that to sell me shit. And honestly, the moment I started pouring my efforts into not what I looked like or how to be acceptable and started channeling them into my passions, my creativity, my community, my friends, looking after my body, loving it with devotion, I am categorically a far, far more attractive, magnetic, and loving person than I was 6 years ago, without a doubt. And that's not to say that I have changed physically. I think I have, just in the way that I carry myself, my energy, my face, like I say, the light behind my eyes. 100% physically there is a difference, but it's not in the way that you've been taught. I still have cellulite. I am not a small woman, but I am fucking magnetic. And it's so crazy because even as I say those words, I am magnetic, there's this deep condition in me that goes, "Ugh, you fucking, all right, big Ed. What a repulsive thing to say." And you have to just go, I am magnetic, I am attractive, and it is good for me to feel that way about myself, because if I do not feel that, I will accept people that treat me as if I am not special, magnetic, worthy, lovable. It's a complete juxtaposition. To say that I am not lovable and I'm a piece of shit and then expect someone to love me and not treat me like a piece of shit, it has to come from you. So start saying it out loud. I am magnetic. I am lovable. I am worthy. I am beautiful. I am talented. I am passionate. I am funny. As an act of rebellion against the system that has tried to make you believe that you are none of those things because it makes it easier to sell to you. We've been taught that it's our problem to fix on our own. I am telling you, you are not the only one that feels like this, and that collectively fighting back is the revenge. Like, fighting back is the path to freedom, but it doesn't need to feel like a battle. It is just defiance. It is anytime you think those shitty things about yourself, you question where they're from and you control alt delete and you install the new software that says, I am worthy just as I am, projects and all. Being worthy now does not stop you from striving for a bigger, better, more fruitful life. I am living proof of that. I have never been more okay with who I am, what I bring to the table, and all of that stuff. And I have never had a more exciting and striving life. It's like we need this hustle culture of never viewing yourself as successful so that you keep wanting more, 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 more. Like, the worst thing that could happen to you is you reach a point in your life where you go, wow, this is amazing. I can't believe I've built this. I can't believe I have this. I can't believe I am this. And I'm going to just enjoy this. I don't need to keep pushing up right now. That's not to say that in 5 years' time, I might not go swivel and go a completely different direction, try a new thing. You are allowed to change your mind in your life as many times as you want. You owe no one nothing. You can change your mind as many times as you want. You can settle wherever you want. Do you hear me? And that looks completely different for everybody. My entire work being around freedom is that is the point. I don't tell you what your freedom is. You tell me. What does freedom mean to you? Because it has to be exactly what you want, because any other way never settles. It never feels right. It does not matter how much you try and shove that square peg in a round hole for your family, for your partner, for your friends, for the lifestyle that you have been told you should have and want. If you keep trying to ram a circle into that square, you might chip off the edges eventually and get it in, but it's never going to sit right because it's not yours. It's not coming from you. And that could genuinely look like someone that works for, base pay in a cafe in a town they love, seeing local people's faces every day, and it pays for their little apartment, and they are genuinely happy in that life. They feel fulfilled, they feel loved, they feel worthy. Amazing. For someone else, myself included, that looks like a lovely house with a natural swimming pool in the garden, surrounded by people that I love, deeply embedded in my local community. But I'm okay with saying I would like a nice, comfortable life where I do not have to worry about money ever again. And I can see the places that I've always wanted to see in the world. I can create the projects that I've always wanted to create. I can help people whenever I want to. And I can just extend that abundance out into the world. I can retire my dad. There is so much that I want for myself, and I'm no longer ashamed of saying that because I'm ridding myself of this conditioning that we've been given that we're told what we should want. I could go into so much detail on this subject, guys. And I know this is quite punchy, direct. I've not laughed. I think I've laughed like once this whole episode. It fills me with such passion because it all starts inside. And using our current space and time to understand why we feel the way we feel, where that's come from, and then the activation can begin and you can start taking steps towards your freedom, whatever that freedom looks like for you. I am open to working with you if you need some outside support to start to understand what that looks like. I'm really fucking good at that. I am good at understanding your brain. I will ask you the sort of questions I need to ask to understand what it is that you cannot stop thinking about and how you might be able to start taking steps towards that thing. I truly believe that we all have a personal freedom that is available to us. I am not saying it's easy and that you're going to be there overnight. And I think anyone that just says you can just manifest it and then sit around and do fuck all and it will land on your lap. Because if I gave you your dream life right now, you wouldn't know how to maintain it. That's why we have to close the gap between where we are right now and that dream life or that person that we want to become, that we want. The gap between is where we effectively morph into that identity. It's in the doing that we adopt that new identity. So when it arrives, we've got the capacity to hold it. You might want $1 million, right? If I click my fingers and give you $1 million right now, because you're in a bunch of lack, you're not going to know how to hold that and you're going to fucking blast through it. And in a couple of months' time, you're going to be like, shit, turns out I need 10 mil. Because you don't know how to hold it. You've not built the identity required to hold it. You can have whatever you want. I am not saying you cannot. The complete opposite. But you have to be prepared to take aligned action too. And the universe, source, God will bring it to you in ways that you can never imagine. It will come at you in ways that you just could never imagine if you are open to it and you are stepping into that identity. And that goes for money, community, love, creative pursuits. It rewards the brave in the sense of the people that start to do and don't need all the answers right now. And this genuinely can be applied to anything. So like, again, going back to the subject of self-esteem, self-love, how you view your body image, you have been taught to view yourself in a certain way. I want you to actively sit and think about What do you actually value in your body? What is it you genuinely want? You, not what you've been told to want. Because I don't know about you, I certainly want a body that feels good. It feels strong. It's not in pain. I'm not inflamed. It gives me boundless energy. Like, I want a body that carries me through life. Do I want to look a certain level of attractiveness? Yes. What does that actually mean? A beautiful smile, bright eyes. I want to look after my body in that I moisturize it, I tend to my hair. Sometimes I dress my face with makeup. You're allowed to do that. You're allowed to decorate this flesh suit in whichever way you see fit. There's some tattoos that I want. But do I want to, and I know there's going to be some differences on a bit of opinion on this. Do I personally want to inject things into my face to actually change into not being my face? No, I don't. Have I thought about it? Yes. Yes, I have. Because I've been constantly told that I should. Do I actually want to? No. Do I believe that if I look after myself and I live a beautiful, loving, vibrant life, will I be attractive, magnetic, beautiful? Fuck yes. Believe it. You believe, whichever you believe to be true will become true because you take the aligned action. So if I believe that I'm never going to be attractive and the only way I'm going to solve that is through Botox, I will take the aligned action with that thought pattern. I will get Botox and then I will possibly deem myself to be attractive. But chances are, because I am basing the level of measurement on the outside world, all that will happen is in 5 years' time, the trend will become dissolving Botox. So I will never be happy with myself. There might be a tiny little moment in time and then, oh, something else will change in the industry because it has to, because they have to keep making more money. Or I choose the path that goes, I am in direct control of my magnetism and my beauty and my attractiveness through how I care for myself, how I tend with love and devotion to myself, how I show up in the world, how I treat people. You get to set which is true, and then you take aligned action, and then guess what? You become your most magnetic, beautiful, attractive version of yourself through love, not through self-hatred. But you have to be prepared for the potential pain of switching from the norm to what you believe for you is the right path. And if I'm being totally honest, the pain doesn't, it's fucking minuscule. I don't think there's been any moments where I've actually suffered what they've told me I'm going to suffer, which is like social isolation. I'm not going to find a partner. I have the most loving, just utterly divine partner I have ever had in my life. He is amazing. He is loving. He is tentative. He does so many things for me without me having to ask. He tells me I'm a goddess when we make love. Like, I hope he doesn't mind me saying that. I'm sure he won't. I adore this man, right? And this is the first truly healthy relationship I have ever experienced. It feels balanced, it feels communicative. And I manifested him. I literally wrote in my journal a list of all the traits that I was looking for in a partner, and therefore I was too. Loving, kind, thoughtful, funny, creative. I wrote them all down and was like, I am, therefore I deserve. I am, therefore I deserve. And look what came to me. I met him through a friend. Look what came to me. It comes from aligned action. And the aligned action I took in that example was I no longer went on dating apps and I decided I was no longer going to allow access to my body with anyone that wasn't a partner or someone that I was actively dating in line with being a partner. Those were the things that I decided were mine until I was ready to share them with the right person. I turned that energy inward and I was like, I am love, I am creative, I am funny. I was living being all of those things. And then look, he came to me. And it was funny, the first time I met him, he actually said to me, I actually follow you on Instagram and I've been hoping to meet you. He was completely direct with the fact that he had seen me and had clearly found me attractive for who I was and was hoping to meet me. Guys, honestly, this shit works. I'm not getting you to like wake up to this crazy stuff because again, on that, society would tell you dating apps are the only way now and they're full of shit. And people are only looking for XYZ. If you're not skinny, people are just going to swipe past you. If you're not tall, women are just going to swipe past you. Like, there are so many societal standards that you are told that you do not fit and therefore you will not be successful until you make yourself fit. Not true. But also, there will be people that are actively looking, going, yeah, I don't want to date a man below 6'2", because they are caged by that as well. Whether they like to believe it or not, they have been told their male partner should be taller than them. That's it. And they've gone, okay, I don't want to be cringe. I don't want people to look at me with my boyfriend that loves, adores, treats me like an absolute queen because he's two inches shorter than me. They think it's their choice. It's not. It's not their choice. It's no accident that a shit ton of women have the same, just like it's no accident that a shit ton of men only want skinny women. If you are coming from a place of self-acceptance, the world will meet you there. It will meet you at your desires. I think I'm gonna have to do a part 2 to this, guys, because I'm already at 30 plus minutes, and I'm just really hoping that you are hearing me when I say, question your thoughts, question the conditioning, question the system, question it, okay? Is it you? Is it truly you? Why is it you want that thing? Are you open to a different way if it's going to bring you a more joyous, fulfilling, wonderful life? So just question it, and then you can use that defiance of, I think for myself around here, and all I care about is my personal experience and the good and the beauty that I'm putting out into the world. So I'm going to be coming from that angle and making decisions from that place for me, because everything else is made up. Okay, I'm going to love you and leave you there. I hope you got something from this episode. I know it was a very punchy one. I think I had my eyes closed the entire time. And I will see you on the other side. Love you. Bye. Oh, wait, I should just add at the end, I'm very bad at promoting you guys to follow. If you don't follow already and you come back and you listen to these, or this is your first one and you enjoyed it, please subscribe, follow, share. I'm a grassroots podcast on my own, editing, shooting, everything by myself. And I would just absolutely love this to get out there. Thank you.